And here's another. Carrie has to choose the lingerie least likely to come apart while being chewed.
You've got nylon, you got spandex, you got cotton, and I need to test and see which one of these are going to be the best for the crocodiles to be able to hold on to.
With the different stocking stuffed, Carrie takes a scalpel and makes like a crocodile tooth.
I think I'm going with the 100% cotton fishnet stockings.
Adam and Jamie are trying to get a handle on the Hindenburg blaze.
Wow!
Was the airship's metallic paint to blame? The paint on this panel matches the one on the doomed airship. It contains aluminum and iron oxide, two compounds that combine to create explosive thermite. Will they get a reaction? Adam puts flame to the frame.
Go.
No thermite reaction, no intense heat. In fact, it takes 5.5 minutes for the panel to be consumed. That's almost twice as long as the aluminum-coated cotton.
It's almost identical to the cloth by itself.
Wow.
Hang on, guys. Don't write off this myth yet. That was one little panel. The Hindenburg was covered in thousands of square feet of material. Could there be a better boom on a bigger scale?
I mean, maybe there's some crazy amount that could yield an energetic reaction, but it's not this amount.
Obviously, the Hindenburg's designers didn't set out to coat their creation in rocket fuel. Those who pan the paint theory say the aluminum and iron oxide couldn't have formed thermite because the compounds weren't mixed that way. The recipe was completely different. So that's got the MythBusters curious. What would happen if you did paint pure thermite on the skin?
It's more like a paste than a paint, but I think we can smear it on.
Next up. Whoa. Mega dope. This is just total worst case scenario. Can you actually make thermite in a dope formulation?
Be careful when you light it.
Adam ignites the panel.
Time it.
Not exactly the pyrotechnic display we might have expected. They start discussing Plan B when suddenly...
Deuteronomy. Okay, wait.
Well, that's thermite.
You got that right.
Wow!
Once the mega dope ignited, the panel was consumed in just 20 seconds.
That was dramatically different.
That was totally amazing.
Well, I tell you, that's the first evidence I've seen yet that there might actually be something to this myth. Because that's the kind of burn I think of when I think about the Hindenburg going up.
This was not what was on the Hindenburg. We have to make that clear because this was just like over the top crazy. The concentration of thermite in there was, thermite to dope was maybe like 75% thermite. And they wouldn't have, in any stretch of the imagination, coated the Hindenburg with something like that.
So, you burned the skin samples, but you know, the Hindenburg was filled with 200,000 cubic meters of hydrogen.
Well, let's burn some skin in the presence of hydrogen and see what it does.
The newsreel shows the Hindenburg engulfed by fire. Yet high school science tells us hydrogen burns with a near invisible flame. So what are we seeing in the disaster footage? Is it the skin burning and not the gas? Adam will burn some hydrogen to see what the flame looks like. He takes a cylinder of 100% pure hydrogen and makes an enormous Bunsen burner.
That's an orange burn, baby. The hydrogen definitely burns orange, but it is extremely low visibility, in contrast to the newsreel footage in which the flame is clearly visible. Now, eyewitnesses said it burned orange, but it's a lot more visible than this was.
One thing's for sure, hydrogen burns like nobody's business.
Guys, what's the myth?
The myth is that in ye olde times, pirates used rum not only for inspiration, but also as a stain remover.
Well, pirates don't strike me as the most fastidious lot, but I suppose if you had blood all over your shirt and then you had shore leave, you'd want to wash it off first.
I guess especially if you had a date.
Pirates had dates?
Pirates and rum go together like cannons and balls. But is it possible that they don't just drink grog, but use it to get those puffy pirate shirts whiter than white?
Well, obviously we're gonna need some authentic pirate shirt material and, we're gonna need to stain it with some period-accurate stains.
Blood, sweat, and tar.
Perfect.
We're also obviously going to need some sort of ye olde rum.
Right, and I think we should have something to compare that to. So I think we should use some ye olde soap as well. I have a secret method that the pirates may have used as a laundry technique, and we should compare all three of those to some modern detergent. So I'll do the staining.
Well, I'll do the cleaning then.
And I guess that leaves me to judge.
Exactly.
So it's time for Adam to get down and dirty.
The plan for this test is to choose 3 most common stains that pirates would encounter. One would be, of course, blood. Another would be, of course, sweat. Pirates were not known for their bathing. And the third would be something you'd find on the ship, which would be pitch or tar. I'm going to make up some 1-foot square samples of this cloth. We're going to put those various stains on it and try and see whether or not rum will actually take those stains out.
Being a pirate's a bit difficult. What with the not bathing, the hot sun, the blood, the sweat. And this rough fabric is very harsh on my skin.
We don't have any pirate shirts from the period, but we do know that while a fancy gentleman of the age might have had a very fine weave shirt made of linen, pirates would have used coarser stuff called lock ram. The closest we could find is this bleached embroidery fabric, which has a thread count of 40. It's quite rough, but it's perfect for our tests. And I think it's the closest thing we could possibly find.
The first authentic pirate stain is blood, and Adam knows just where to find some.
We have it in the fridge because Jamie likes to have it every day for lunch. No. Has anyone taken my blood out of the fridge?
Next, Adam takes Jamie's lunch and smears the pig's blood over 4 sample sheets.
This is the plight of the pirate laundryman. Next up for our pirate shirts is pitch. Now, blood and sweat are easy choices when it comes to pirate stains, but we wanted to choose something like grime, and we know that pitch was used on pirate boats and period boats of the time. We've used it on plenty of other episodes, and it's very dirty stuff, so that's what we're gonna put on our pirate shirts next. Ta-da! We have 1 stain to go, and I'm gonna have to work for this one.
Yep, Adam has a plan to sweat for science.
I'm gonna do 3 things. I'm gonna get on Jamie's treadmill in my sweat lodge, formerly his mold room, and I'm gonna put on the sweatiest of the sweaty things we have, which is our fire suit. That thing is damn hot inside. I should have no problem producing lots of the correct bodily fluid for this test.
To harvest the bodily fluids, Adam arranges the shirt material for maximum moisture absorption.
It's go time.
Adam leaps onto the treadmill, ready to stain up. But after 15 seconds on his very own wheel of death, he's gasping like an asthmatic hamster.
That says I've only burned 20 calories. What is that about?
Why don't we fast forward to the end of the workout? After all, who wants to watch a grown man ooze sweat stains?
Now we've got 3 kinds of stains here. We got blood, pitch, and sweat. Or as pirates like to refer to it, Saturday night.
Next up in our ninja bits, can you catch an arrow with your bare hands?
How are we going to do that?
Well, I figure we should take some of our arrows downstairs and you can shoot them at me and I'll just try and catch them.
So you'd actually let me shoot at you with a bow and arrow?
Amazingly, yes.
All right.
Legend has it that a ninja could do this dexterous trick with ease. So Jamie and Adam want to get a feel for it themselves.
I'm going to string a regular bow and set up an arrow with a tennis ball on it and shoot it at Adam, or at least off to the side of Adam. We'll put Adam in a protective suit in case I either get frisky or miss.
Jamie is an experienced archer, and even though he's not using a real arrowhead, this is not something to try at home.
He's gonna be shooting from over there into this garbage can. I'm gonna be standing here, we'll catch it on high-speed camera, see how fast I can actually catch this arrow at.
Jamie marks out notches on the shaft. The further he pulls back, the faster the rod will travel.
Whoosh! All right, I'm ready if you are. You wanna start slow?
Yep.
All right.
Jamie starts out at Mark 1.
2, 1.
The arrow eludes Adam's grasp.
I don't have enough time to anticipate. It's like by the time you let go and I've moved.
Still at Mark 1. This time, Adam tries to move in sync with the arrow.
Hey!
Good job.
You know, I anticipated when you were just about to do it, and I just started moving, and we worked, it's like working together.
It's a beautiful thing. Next, Jamie ups the ante to Mark 3. But the arrow keeps sailing on by, as the guy's unified martial arts magic peaked already.
Got it!
Even though Adam's form was impressive, the speed was lacking. Their tennis ball projectile was traveling at 58 miles an hour, a third of the speed of a real arrow.
You've got a couple of things here that are throwing this off. For one thing, this is, what, twice or 3 times as heavy as a normal arrow would be because of that thing on the end of it.
Right.
I really think that we need to figure out some other solution.
To test this myth at a true-to-life rate, the guys have to bounce around a new strategy. Back over at M7, the team has finished putting their mechanical sword-catching rig together. Now, to set it to move at a real-life rate.
We don't want it to be superhuman, and we don't want it to be subhuman. We want it to be whatever a person could do, and then we'll be ready to try and catch a sword. Calibration first test at 100 PSI. In 3, 2, 1.
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, the speed and force of the ninja's arms was exactly the same as Grant's best time, but the replay reveals something undetectable to the naked eye.
There's a bounce back which could let that sword get right through there.
As the hands hit together, they bounce off each other and jiggle like jello, opening up an unforeseen headache.
The force is causing him to bounce away, and it's allowing a gap which is going to allow the sword to go right through and bury into the guy's head.
To try and stop the handshake, they're going to strengthen them from the inside. Building up the bones may add extra beef.
First you slice the hand in half, and then you get to beat the metal and you stick it in.
Tori has a big saw over there, and he's taking out these tiny little pieces of metal and putting in big, thick, girthy pieces of metal. That way when these things hit,
Tori also has another quiver-containing idea.
What I'm thinking is maybe what we do is put some kind of a latch so that when the hands come together, it keeps them there. And it's not adding any more pressure. All it's doing is keeping the hands together like you would be able to do if you were using your muscles.
He attaches 2 kickstands to the arms that will fall and lock into ratchets, and fastens pneumatic rams on either side of the hands.
This thing's starting to look like a monster. Pretty soon you're not going to recognize it.
But it's function, not form, that counts.
Here we go in 3, 2, 1.
man, they look nice and sturdy and stable.
Yeah.
They check it out frame by frame.
Stay together.
Come on.
Stay together. Yeah!
When a cowboy's hat takes a bullet in Hollywood, it takes flight like a startled bird. Does the science stack up, or are those hats flying in the face of physics? Our own Butch and Sundance aim to find out.
Are you ready?
And as we know, the Mythbusters always feel right at home on the range.
What happened? He must be Frank.
That's my name.
Frank Tabor is a Wild West firearms aficionado.
Good morning. How you doing?
Frank's wagon contains an arsenal of archaic weapons.
This is a 4440 Colt. This is an 1888 manufacturer Smith & Wesson top brace. This is a Colt Pump Lightning. This one's about 1900.
Has anyone ever shot your hat off?
One time I was at a competition and my hat blew down range and everybody online shot it to pieces. Just blew it up.
Frank has brought so many options for us, from long rounds, short rounds, black powder, smokeless, rifles.
Let's do it.
Our Hollywood hard guys use handguns, so Adam and Jamie select an 1860 Army Colt revolver. If that doesn't work, they'll try a Winchester lever-action rifle.
I love that.
The weapons are authentic. The 8 target hats match those worn by real cowboys in the real Wild West.
Nice high crown. Should be easy to shoot and miss the head. You ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
That's pretty darn good. All right. You want to take the first shot?
Sure.
First up, the oldest firearm, the revolver.
Range is hot.
That was perfect. Right through the top.
Didn't take it off.
No, it cocked it a little bit to the side.
The bullet left the muzzle at 750 feet per second. In bullet terms, that's not fast. But it was still fast enough to drill a neat hole straight through the crown.
You got a lot of leverage out of that. See, the bullet went in here and tore out through the top. Again, it was moving a lot of material. Okay, here comes the Winchester.
Nice shot.
Look at that, right through the center. That did not budge the hat. It could not be a more perfect shot.
The hat didn't take off, but it's way too early to call it busted.
This is the Charles Bronson Once Upon a Time in the West hat. You ready?
Ready. Range is hot.
Hey! You knocked the hat off!
Hang on, guys. Let's see the movie footage again. Bullets send these hats sky high. Jamie's shot was slightly less spectacular.
Your hit could not have been more perfect. You went through more material of that hat than any of our hits before. You went through the brim, through the brim, through the brim, and through the brim.
Yeah, but it kind of like fell off sideways.
Yeah, but if you're the guy wearing this hat and someone shoots at you, you're gonna say he shot my hat off.
Spurred on,
Find the red lady. Find the red lady, it pays $20.
our gunslingers take pot shots at their whole hat collection.
Right between the eyes.
But those brims hardly budge. And the reason is simple. When it strikes the hat, a small projectile traveling at around 1,000 feet per second doesn't encounter enough resistance and rips straight through the material. So the question is, what does it take to flip the lid on this myth? Time to pelt the felt with something a little more powerful. Now that's more like what we see on the silver screen.
All the pellets went in here. All the pellets came out there.
The birdshot sprays out at a slower speed, striking a larger surface area. The force is enough to make hat and head part company. There's one tiny problem.
But it doesn't quite leave you able to tell the tale. I mean,
Looks like he's got an acne problem right now.
grand.
The dummy's forehead looks like a lunar landscape.
Oh, I think that's a record.
That hat is gone.
Jamie and Adam are testing the movie myth that diving onto a grenade will smother the blast and save your buddies. But with the neighbors likely to gripe about a grenade going off in the backyard, the team head for one of their favorite spots.
When you want to blow up grenades, you've got to go to a place where they blow up grenades. Like the Alameda County Sheriff's Department's bomb range. That's where we are here.
This place is a veritable MythBuster mecca. Tori, Grant, and Carrie came here to blow up their pants.
Those are exploding pants.
And Jamie and Adam
You gonna paint your house with explosives?
had a little TNT party of their own.
Get your pirate face on! We're about to shoot some cannons!
And in the pirate special, Redbeard and Captain Heinemann tested the myth that cannonball splinters are more deadly than the cannonball. But this time, the guys are going gung-ho with grenades, and the MythBusters turn to some old friends, Frank Doyle and J.D. Nelson, for the crucial explosive ingredients.
All right, so what do we got?
Okay.
So, if I pull the pin on one of these things, it's going to go off, right?
No, Jamie, these are inert. We wouldn't trust Adam near the live ones. But first, Adam can't resist testing a mini-myth.
So the thing I've always wondered is, can you really pull these out with your teeth?
It works in the movies, but how about real life?
Ah! Ow. No, I don't think so. Why would you do this when you had a perfectly good finger right over here?
It requires over 10 pounds of pressure to pull a grenade pin. So this myth is busted, a bit like Adam's teeth. Seeing as Jamie and Adam's expertise in this field comes from the movies, why don't we start with a little Grenades 101?
Now, what the heck are all these things?
A hand grenade is basically a small handheld explosive device. It's meant to be thrown, and after a certain delay, it goes off.
And this is how they work. As everyone knows, the pin comes out first. That releases the striker lever, which hits the percussion cap, and that sets off the chemical fuse. Finally, the detonator sparks the packed explosive material. There's a big boom, and the metal casing fragments into deadly shrapnel.
So, if the M67 is going to be our grenade today, do we get to pull the pin and throw them?
Well, we won't be doing that today for safety reasons. We'll have a very controlled situation, and I think it's a good time for JD and myself to go and prepare the actual grenades that we're going to use today.
So while control freaks Frank and JD set up a remote firing system,
let's start assembly lining this thing.
It's time to call for our movie extras. But our leading man can kick back in his trailer, as this test is the control.
We are going to detonate one of our grenades without anything inhibiting it. We're going to see what it does to our figures standing around it. Then we'll have a baseline comparison of damage to compare all the other subsequent tests to.
As the director of this slice of movie mayhem, Adam choreographs his stuntmen.
I am standing on the exact location where we're going to be detonating our series of grenade tests. The grenade is lethal within 15 feet and can cause injuries within 40 to 45 feet.
The actors are placed at 5-foot intervals from the blast epicenter. And with everyone poised for action, JD brings the small package with the big boom.
Okay, here it is.
Well, it goes right where that cone is.
Okay.
With the live grenade in position, our experts clear the area and begin their preparation.
We're going to be putting a blasting cap into the body of the grenade, into the explosive, running it by hardwire all the way back to the fire control point where we will do the button pushing and initiate the explosion.
Watch the coin. You're getting sleepy. Very, very sleepy.
Wait, why are we doing hypnosis again? Haven't we been here before?
Yep, but the furor on the fan side over mesmeric, mind-altering myths just won't let up. Despite busting the theory that you can plant a post-hypnotic suggestion in an unwilling dupe,
I had a clear idea of what they wanted me to do.
And proving as plausible that memory recall can be hypnotically enhanced,
All of that I remembered after we relaxed with the hypnosis.
the fans are demanding the team tackle self-hypnosis. Specifically, the CDs you find on the internet that claim you can change your life in any number of weird and wonderful ways.
So this time, we're gonna try self-hypnosis myth.
Those are those CDs that you listen to and they're supposed to influence you?
Yeah, they're all over the internet. You can lose weight, regrow your hair, or even quit smoking.
So why don't we each try one?
Okay, well, I volunteer for the seasickness one because personally, I'm sick of being the guy that always has to vomit on camera.
All right, well, since I'm only afraid of commitment and I doubt that's gonna change, maybe we should bring in Adam and try to help him get over his extreme fear of bees.
All right, well, if you guys are going to work with rational myths, I would like to try something a little more outlandish. I saw one where you can change your eye color. And since that's a physical change, you'll know if it works because I'll come back with, like, purple eyes.
All right, sounds good. Spin me, baby.
As regular viewers will know, Grant has a tendency to go a little green around the gills.
I feel something coming up in my throat.
This NASA knockoff, affectionately known as the Chuck chair, is used to simulate the sensation of seasickness.
Uh-oh.
And it works a treat on our very own barf machine. Before Grant can try his mythical seasickness cure, Carrie and Tori need a pre-hypnosis baseline.
Come on, I want to see you blow chunks.
All right, let's get this over with.
Starting in 3, 2, 1.
Round and round he goes.
Oh, you suck.
Keep moving your head.
Where his stomach stops, nobody knows.
Here we go. Here we go. Attaboy. Yeah. Attaboy.
It's all
Okay.
right.
Minute 17:34.
So now they've got a baseline.
1730, totally puked.
Grant can begin testing the self-hypnotic solution for seasickness.
How you feeling, better?
Not especially.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Carrie will test a self-hypnosis CD she found on the web that claims she'll be able to turn her brown eyes as green as Grant after a trip in the Chuck chair.
I want to do this as scientifically as possible, so I've come to Correct Vision Center. They're going to take really close-up pictures of my eyes so that I have a baseline control for the experiment. I'll go through my self-hypnosis, and then when I come back, we'll take pictures in the exact same way and do comparison to see if I was able to change the color of my eye.
The final challenge the team will tackle is Adam's deep-seated and unfounded fear of bees.
I don't know why. I've been stung plenty of times. I'm not allergic. I just can't stand those things. They freak me out.
And as always, the first step is a control to scientifically measure exactly how freaked out he gets.
We have 2 instruments to measure Adam's stress level. The first is the pulse meter, and this is going to measure his heart rate. If he becomes frightened, his heart rate's going to increase and it's going to spike, and we'll be able to see it here. The second piece of equipment is the galvanic skin response. Again, if he becomes frightened, he'll start to sweat a little bit, and that will change that resistance measurement.
To dial in on Adam's fear factor, he'll be spending 10 minutes with one arm in his own personal Room 101.
Oh, that's a lot of them.
Okay, heart rate spiking. Okay.
It's pretty obvious from the start, Adam is showing serious signs of stress.
Your heart rate jumped up about like 20 points.
And once Adam gets his arm inside the box of bees, the team don't need fancy equipment to measure his stress levels. It's time to sit back with a bottle of grog for a laundry legend.
So guys, what's the myth?
The myth is that in ye olde times, pirates used rum not only for inspiration, but also as a stain remover.
Well, pirates don't strike me as the most fastidious lot, but I suppose if you had blood all over your shirt and then you had shore leave, you'd want to wash it off first.
I guess especially if you had a date.
Pirates had dates?
Pirates and rum go together like cannons and balls. But is it possible that they don't just drink grog, but use it to get those puffy pirate shirts whiter than white?
Well, obviously we're gonna need some authentic pirate shirt material, and, we're gonna need to stain it with some period-accurate stains.
Blood, sweat, and tar.
Perfect.
We're also obviously going to need some sort of ye olde rum.
Right, and I think we should have something to compare that to. So I think we should use some ye olde soap as well. I have a secret method that the pirates may have used as a laundry technique, and we should compare all 3 of those to some modern detergent. So I'll do the staining.
Well, I'll do the cleaning then.
And I guess that leaves me to judge.
Exactly.
So it's time for Adam to get down and dirty.
The plan for this test is to choose 3 most common stains that pirates would encounter. One would be, of course, blood. Another would be, of course, sweat. Pirates were not known for their bathing. And the third would be something you'd find on the ship, which would be pitch,
or tar. I'm going to make up some 1-foot square samples of this cloth. We're going to put those various stains on it and try and see whether or not rum will actually take those stains out.
Being a pirate's a bit difficult. What with the not bathing, the hot sun, the blood, the sweat. And this rough fabric is very harsh on my skin.
We don't have any pirate shirts from the period, but we do know that while a fancy gentleman of the age might have had a very fine weave shirt made of linen, pirates would have used coarser stuff called lock ram. The closest we could find is this bleached embroidery fabric, which has a thread count of 40. It's quite rough, but it's perfect for our tests. And I think it's the closest thing we could possibly find.
The first authentic pirate stain is blood, and Adam knows just where to find some.
We have it in the fridge because Jamie likes to have it every day for lunch. No. Has anyone taken my blood out of the fridge?
Next, Adam takes Jamie's lunch and smears the pig's blood over 4 sample sheets.
This is the plight of the pirate laundryman. Next up for our pirate shirts is pitch. Now, blood and sweat are easy choices when it comes to pirate stains, but we wanted to choose something like grime, and we know that pitch was used on pirate boats and period boats of the time. We've used it on plenty of other episodes, and it's very dirty stuff, so that's what we're gonna put on our pirate shirts next. Ta-da! We have 1 stain to go, and I'm gonna have to work for this one.
Yep, Adam has a plan to sweat for science.
I'm gonna do 3 things. I'm gonna get on Jamie's treadmill in my sweat lodge, formerly his mold room, and I'm gonna put on the sweatiest of the sweaty things we have, which is our fire suit. That thing is damn hot inside. I should have no problem producing lots of the correct bodily fluid for this test.
To harvest the bodily fluids, Adam arranges the shirt material for maximum moisture absorption.
It's go time.
Adam leaps onto the treadmill, ready to stain up. But after 15 seconds on his very own wheel of death, he's gasping like an asthmatic hamster.
That says I've only burned 20 calories. What is that about?
Why don't we fast forward to the end of the workout? After all, who wants to watch a grown man ooze sweat stains?
Now we've got 3 kinds of stains here. We got blood, pitch, and sweat. Or as pirates like to refer to it, Saturday night.
It's the MythBusters MacGyver special.
It's time to take the antics of one Angus MacGyver, place him under the MythBusters microscope, and separate fact from fiction. Are you ready?
The fans begged for it, so we're doing it. Mac versus the MythBusters. He's one of the boys' all-time heroes. But there comes a time when the student must challenge the master.
Ask me why I'm swinging this bottle around.
Okay, why are you swinging this bottle around?
This has to do with the very first MacGyver myth we're actually testing, which we're calling sodium jailbreak.
In this episode, Mac needs a hole in a wall in a hurry. Knowing that alkaline metals react violently with water, he packs pure sodium inside a gel cap and drops it in a bottle filled with water. The capsule works like a fuse. By the time it dissolves, Mac and his special new friend have time to duck and cover. It's all very clever, but would it really work? Just to be safe, they wheel in a mobile, see-through laboratory for the small-scale tests.
Well, I pulled out the birds in a truck, it's got the whole clear side. I'm gonna park that outside Jamie's shop.
With Jamie scouting locations for the full-scale test, Tori volunteers to help Adam build the test rig. With a pulley, a weight,
Yeah, perfect.
a bowl of water, and a glass vial of metal sodium, Adam hopes to test the explosive potential without bringing the house down. They're using an open bowl of water, not a sealed bottle. So if there's any truth to this at all, we should get the show without the shrapnel.
I'll cut that string, break the glass that the sodium's in, release it into the water, and show us what happens.
Pure sodium is so volatile, it could even react with moisture in the air. So, better safe than singed.
That's why I am so well protected from any kind of splashback, toxicity, anything. Nothing can get inside my suit, and with the face shield on, I think I'm properly protected.
Giant banana number 2 reduces the risk by painting the tray with mineral oil. This gasoline byproduct stops alkali metals from reacting with atmospheric water.
Kind of like a cooking show, except it'll kill you.
Okay, so now it's sitting on the mineral oil. Everyone eyes open, this is for real. It's scary.
The sodium metal cuts just like butter.
Look at that.
Whoa.
That is far out.
So that, oh my gosh.
All right, so.
That's just metal.
2 small slices make 1 thin gram, and that's exactly what MacGyver used to blow a hole in a wall.
1 gram of sodium, it looks so innocuous. It's part of table salt, for crying out loud.
Good luck.
I'll see you at the shield.
Be careful.
Hey, Adam's middle name is Careful. Then again, his last name is, well, let's get on with it. They'll do this test twice. First, with the vial sitting on top of the water.
So this is sodium surface test in 3, 2, 1.
Wah, wah.
No, it's gonna take a second.
There you go.
That was cool. It wasn't a single reaction. It was like a pow, 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 which actually lends credence to the MacGyver clip in which there are 2 bangs, not just 1.
But will this bonsai 4th of July ever be big enough to blow a man-sized hole through solid masonry? The boys repeat the test with a sodium vial immersed in water.
From what I understand from the science, being under the water is probably going to be less of a reaction than being on top of the water.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, let's find out.
This is sodium underwater in 3, 2, 1. That looks like it worked.
Yeah. Whoa! That was a bigger one.
Yeah.
You have to wonder if Adam ever gets tired of being wrong. MacGyver got it right, and that's a good enough result for Jamie to call in the contractors.
Okay, you guys are gonna build a wall. We're gonna blow it up, but do a good job anyway. Let's go.
All right, you guys, get ready for this one. Crocodile myth.
Is it that they live in the sewers?
No.
Is it the crocodiles have tears?
No. This one is, if you're getting chased by a crocodile, you can easily escape it by running in a zigzag pattern, because they cannot turn corners.
In the water, the crocodile is a lightning-quick ambush predator. In that explosive split second when they strike, crocodile lunges have been clocked at around 30 miles an hour. Lunging is one thing, running is another. According to the myth, if you're being chased by a crocodile, all you have to do is run in a zigzag, because their long bodies and short legs cannot make sharp turns.
All right, you guys, this one seems a little dangerous. How do you think we should test it?
Let's use Buster first. We'll build a rig that pulls him in a straight line, and then one that pulls him in a zigzag.
Well, let's try to make this a little interesting instead of just sticking a stake to Buster's butt. Maybe we can make a pair of meat legs.
How do you make meat legs?
Don't ask me.
Guess that'll be your job. We'll build the rig.
The plan is to dangle a dummy from a remote-controlled trolley, which moves from side to side. The trolley, in turn, will be suspended from a steel track. As the trolley is pulled along the track, those juicy meat legs will zigzag. Then they'll take the rig to a crock farm and see if they can make some reptiles run. But this time, believe it or not, Buster's off the hook.
The rig that we're going to have to put up is going to be suspended. Therefore, my Buster needs to be really, really lightweight. I'm going to make him entirely out of foam for a torso, and then I might have a little surprise for his legs.
Soon, a new foam Buster is rising like a cake in an oven.
As you can see, he's very light, and it's not going to put a whole lot of strain on the rig.
This new lightweight Buster hasn't got a leg to stand on, but Carrie has a pair of meat legs all mapped out.
What are these?
They're fishnet stockings.
He'll be wearing fishnet stockings.
Give me all your cash!
And they'll be stuffed with quail. But these are not like any frozen bird you might find in your supermarket.
See,
Oh my God!
I can't do this.
They got feathers on them still.
I can't do this.
You know what? They're not even gutted.
It's a quail sickle.
Put it down. Put it down. No, seriously.
I've never
You are
juggled dead quails
You are
before.
so messed up. Put these down, go back to working whatever you're working on, because I have a really busy day of putting dead birds in sexy lingerie.
Now, there's a sentence you don't hear every day. And here's another. Carrie has to choose the lingerie least likely to come apart while being chewed.
You've got nylon, you got spandex, you got cotton, and I need to test and see which one of these are going to be the best for the crocodiles to be able to hold on to.
With the different stocking stuffed, Carrie takes a scalpel and makes like a crocodile tooth.
I think I'm going with the 100% cotton fishnet stockings.
Adam and Jamie are trying to get a handle on the Hindenburg blaze.
Wow!
Was the airship's metallic paint to blame? The paint on this panel matches the one on the doomed airship. It contains aluminum and iron oxide, two compounds that combine to create explosive thermite. Will they get a reaction? Adam puts flame to the frame.
Go.
No thermite reaction, no intense heat. In fact, it takes 5.5 minutes for the panel to be consumed. That's almost twice as long as the aluminum-coated cotton.
It's almost identical to the cloth by itself.
Wow.
Hang on, guys. Don't write off this myth yet. That was one little panel. The Hindenburg was covered in thousands of square feet of material. Could there be a better boom on a bigger scale?
I mean, maybe there's some crazy amount that could yield an energetic reaction, but it's not this amount.
Obviously, the Hindenburg's designers didn't set out to coat their creation in rocket fuel. Those who pan the paint theory say the aluminum and iron oxide couldn't have formed thermite because the compounds weren't mixed that way. The recipe was completely different. So that's got the MythBusters curious. What would happen if you did paint pure thermite on the skin?
It's more like a paste than a paint, but I think we can smear it on.
Next up,
Mega dope.
Gather around the hot tub, folks. It's going to be glacial.
So what's the myth?
Well, we are dressed for cold weather, and that's good because we're going to test whether or not you can start an avalanche by yodeling. So it's time to get those vocal cords ready.
You think I can yodel?
I know you can.
You think I'm gonna yodel?
No, I don't.
This alpine myth is as old as the hills. Can this beloved form of melodious mountain song set off a mighty avalanche? The idea isn't as nonsensical as it sounds. In previous audio experiments, the guys proved that sound waves from the human voice are powerful enough to shatter glass and even extinguish a flame. Now, using the same notion in this ultimate auditory myth, we're going to try to bring a mountain to its knees.
You know, if we're doing myths on avalanches, we need to go to the mountains.
I think you're right. I think we will. But first, why don't we try some scale experiments here in the shop? See what we can learn about them before we go.
Sure, why not?
Before heading out, Adam makes a mountain by building a fiberboard tray and attaches it to a tiltable stand.
Instead of making a mountain shape, we've gone with a flat plane to eliminate the variables of the topography of the mountain.
They've got their mountain, now they need some winter weather. The guys secure a wooden frame to the scissor lift and staple a sheet of fly screen to the base. A couple of small pancake motors mounted on the corners will really get things shaking.
Oh, that's great.
Next, they spread a thick layer of flour over the mesh.
The screen is hopefully going to snow down our flour in a really nice, even fashion. And then, let's see if we can't start an avalanche here in the shop in scale. Okay, here we go.
They raise their giant sifter to the sky.
We're gonna have flour everywhere.
And let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
You could use this for rolling out dough and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
In mountainous regions, the most common and destructive kind of avalanche is called a slab avalanche, when a strong, cohesive layer of snow forms on top of weak snow. All it needs is a trigger to break loose. So it's crucial for Adam and Jamie to get their scale test poised at the most precarious point possible.
135, 36.
As the flour slowly builds up, they wait and watch for the exact point it all comes tumbling down.
316, 320.
So I'm gonna kill it at 330. Uh-oh.
It went at exactly 320.
Now that they've got the trigger point timed right on the verge, Jamie grooms the run, they recoat the slope.
316, 320.
Kill it?
Okay.
And are ready to make some noise.
I think it's really hair trigger.
Okay.
Okay, let me give you the decibel meter. So start out at 60, and if I go higher than that, just start dialing it up.
Adam may not be a professional yodeler.
I'm gonna yodel at a soft volume and slowly build up.
But who doesn't know and love such movie classics as Heidi and the Sound of Music? His strange warble wouldn't have startled a mountain goat.
That was 90.
That's giving me a headache.
Okay.
I can't imagine what it's doing to you.
Well, it definitely did nothing to the snow.
All right, well, that's about as loud as I can get. I think it's time to go to the megaphone.
Okay.
A megaphone should take this scale test to the max.
Is it off the charts?
Yeah, that was maxing it out at 120.
120, that's like as loud as a jet engine, right?
Not quite.
Not quite. All right, let's try this again.
Aiming the megaphone toward a different part of the mountain might hit the right note.
Oh! That is a result.
That was a hair trigger, and it went. It went with sound from your voice.
Odelay-hee-hoo. This alpine tale may just be true.